Hi, this is Nikki Woods, and today we're talking to best-selling author, New York Times best-selling author, Eric Jerome Dickey. He is the author of more than 20 novels, as well as a 6-issue miniseries of graphic novels featuring Storm from the X-Men and the Black Panther. He's originally from Memphis, but I've heard now, Eric, that you live on the road.
Yeah.
With all this researching and writing, just whatever hotel you tend to find yourself in. I think that is amazing.
It is funny because I hadn't actually been in my house for 8 months, and when I was there for like a weekend, so I really hadn't been in my home for a year because I was out on the road. Because I spent a lot of time. I was in Barbados working on A Wanted Woman, and before that, gosh, I've camped out in the Bahamas to write there, London, Argentina, a few other places. Yeah, I like to. I like different places. I like creating characters that and stories that take place outside of areas that I'm familiar with. So I would actually go to places that I've never been to before. Because like when I went to Argentina, I knew nothing of Argentina. I got there, and basically, so when the plane landed, I had 90 days to do a lot of work. To be familiar with the culture, to create characters. And people who are writers, they know what I mean. There's 90 days to do a whole project, or the bulk of it. And, I hit the ground running, and taking part, trying to understand the culture so I can write it correctly. I try to write it so if you're from Argentina and you're reading Resurrected Midnight, and at the same time writing it so it's relatable enough for people here in the States or wherever. If you're from Argentina, it rings true. It is Argentina. It is the culture. I didn't just say Argentina. I didn't just say Bahamas. I didn't just say London. You actually realize that I did the research. I did the work. Yeah, because I do a lot of research to get through a couple of pages.
No, and I was going to say, you can tell I was having a conversation with Victoria, Christopher Murray, and she was saying that
awesome.
One of the things that she's amazing, but she was saying the one thing about you that she really studies is how you can make a setting essentially a character, that it's such a huge part of your books that you couldn't fake it. You couldn't possibly fake it. And so I think that's amazing. To learn.
And I've always done that. It's like every place is a character, and for me, it's like looking at it from the character's point of view and trying to see what stands out about this, what makes this different. I would post the 5 senses on the wall and try to describe a location. It's like I'm in L.A. now. The Leimert Park district is this area is totally different from downtown, where all the hipsters are moving in with the gentrification, and you're seeing homeless being forced out, and now you're watching other areas change, and now you're seeing areas that where there initially was the white flight is now becoming the black flight, and the people from south of the border are moving in. So, you know what I mean? So it's trying to get a mood and a feel for describing an area, not only what it is now, but what it used to be. And I got a lot of that, early on reading Walter Mosley's. Work. Oh gosh, I mean, in a couple of lines, man. In the say particularly Devil in a Blue Dress. Just read a couple of lines, and I go like, "That's L.A."
Right.
And trying to do your own version of that, not trying to duplicate anybody else's thing, but trying to find your rhythm, your way of doing that. Even when I describe someone's car, it's a character. The type of car, the way it's treated, what's on the inside of it. And I do that inside of, in my latest novel, One Night, describing Jackie's Volkswagen. Because for me,
you do.
Yeah,
and you do. But I want to talk about One Night before you get too deep into Jackie and her Volkswagen. I want to talk about this because I think the fascinating thing about Just One Night is literally it is just one night.
Yeah.
All that you fit into this one night that most people can't even fit into, a year worth of character lives. How did you approach this, and how did you even think that you decided that this is what you wanted to do, just 12 hours?
Initially I didn't know. I thought it would. I had actually started writing, and there was a point where the two characters separate. He goes left, she goes right. And then I was going to do a jump to the next day or something like that. And it just didn't feel right. And for me, I was like, okay, this has to continue. This has to go moment by moment. So I created a reason for the characters to return, to be back in the same space, and continue with the story. And I was probably about halfway through, and I was like, okay, I see what I have here. This is unique. This is gonna run until they're out of fuel. And when I got to the end, I was probably at about 14 hours. They probably had, and I said, okay, let me squeeze it in, and I reduced it down to 12 hours. So it starts at 6:31 p.m. and ends at 6:31 a.m. And I made it a sort of a sunrise story. Sunrise story. And I just wanted everything to happen within those 12 hours. I want you to feel like you've gone through two strangers meeting, getting to know each other, conversations, talks about everything they can think of, moving from being cerebral to romantic. And then even like you do in relationships, after you've had romantic moments, the doubts move in, the arguments, the breakups, and just try to have it all framed within 12 hours.
Yeah, but you even fit in murder.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of romantic relationship you've been in, Eric, but...
Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, I wasn't going to bring that up, but I tried not to kill anybody, but you know how I roll. I tried to have everything within 12 hours. So what happens is, stepping back, looking at it, it's erotic when it needs to be. It's relationship. It's deep conversation. It's mystery. It's suspense. It's all of these things in doses without no particular genre being overdosed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Speaking of genres, I think it's interesting because you are probably the most well-read male writer in this particular genre because you really lend yourself to romance. Oh,
thanks. Yeah. Thanks. I love the interaction between the characters. I mean, even here, how people meet. What's going on with them at that moment that makes anything beyond this possible, and exploring that. I write a lot of dialogue. Gosh, I mean, I think this book probably has more dialogue in it than any other novel I've written before, but I just really enjoyed these two characters talking and moving the story forward through the dialogue. I love those sort of interactions. I think I've done it from the start, with sister, friends and lovers, even in the Gideon series, with the assassin, there's still relationship issues, drama that go on because Gideon is a character who happens to be an assassin, and he still longs for the life that the squares have, but he knows it's just not attainable because of who he is. But he tries, here and there. But I don't know. It's just something that I enjoy doing, and I think it really shows in the work too.
No, it absolutely shows in the work, especially for A Wanted Woman. You actually won an NAACP award for that one, correct? Oh
yeah, and thanks to all the people who supported and voted, and the whole nine on that. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Barbados to try to create that character, and Trinidad as well. So I would say being in the islands brought me luck.
Yeah. I won't argue with that. Being Jamaican myself, I won't argue with that.
Oh, okay, yeah. And so even then, piggybacking on what we said earlier, describing Trinidad and Barbados, it's two different places, two different dialects, two different cultures, so that when the readers from Trinidad or the readers from Barbados reads it's because they just did an episode of a TV show where they had everyone in Barbados sound like they're from Jamaica. And everyone on the island was angry. Oh, yeah. They put them in Hawaiian shirts, and everyone sounded like they were Jamaican, going, yeah, man. They go, we don't do that here.
Right.
But that's the thing about traveling, though. It's like so when I create these, when I venture into these other worlds, these other cultures, if you will, not other worlds, other cultures, I needed to be on point. I needed to be on point because I don't want to disrespect anyone's culture, take it for granted. I just wanted to be on point. I wanted to be authentic. And I think I put a lot of. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I think that comes through clearly, and I think that for people, a lot of people, I know that what I've heard about your books is, for people who don't travel, who are not able to go to the places that you've been to experience it through your books. Mm-hmm. It just adds another layer of intimacy for them because not only are they being transported, through a story and out of what may not, what their real life is, but they're also getting to go to different places and learn about different things.
It's funny because it's like in the Gideon series, they run across this huge park. I actually walked it. I imagine the characters running, and I'm taking notes with my, as I'm walking, I take photos and video and scribble down stuff, and it's funny because even here in One Night when they were at the gas station, I went down to Hawaiian Gardens and I'm just standing there on the corner. Okay, he pulls in from here, she's at that pump, he's at this pump, and I write all this stuff out that there are 20 pumps, he's at pump number 16, she pulls up to pump number 12, and I map out the all of it. It's almost like being a location scout. For a movie, in a sense, for some stuff, and I write down some details, just enough so you can feel as if you know Hawaiian Gardens, that feels like Hawaiian Gardens. 2 blocks of Hawaiian Gardens that's mentioned in One Night. Mm-hmm. So yeah, right. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's for me. It's sort of like the career has become an adventure. If you will, I get to I get to go places. See, when I worked engineering years ago, I worked in a lab, and I worked in one room behind a door for 9 years. So I think I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm not going to do that again. So I've taken this career. Ever. Yes, I've taken this career. It's like, it's like a writer is only limited by his or her imagination. I don't have to be in L.A. to create a story. I don't have to be in Memphis. I don't have to be in New York, And for me, it's like it's sort of like when I take it out of the country and I'm sitting in a room in Antigua or wherever, it's like, okay, do I have what it takes to create a story here? Am I really a writer? If that makes sense. It's sort of like when people who are like do stand-up comedy and they're in their neighborhood at the local place, they're really good there because they're in that local place. But when they take it some other place, to another city, to another state, to another country, that's when they find out if they really have the gift.
Right.
Awesome. If I take my jokes that I do in Pomona to London and get on stage in London and make people in London fall out laughing, then you feel like, okay, yeah, I have it. I have that
universal it factor. So what's next for you?
So I'm doing a sequel for Naughty or Nice, and it's called Naughtier Than Nice, which will be coming up. Yeah, I want to go back and revisit the McBroom sisters.
I can't wait. And when is that expected out?
That's during October. It's coming out in October. I think we just got first draft on it, and we're starting to do edits on it. So yeah, back with
my favorite characters. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, Frankie, Tommy, and Livy. They're back, and they're naughtier.
If that's possible. So
that's cool. All I gotta say. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Eric Jerome Dickey, for spending some time with us, and continued success. I'm really a big fan, and I enjoy all of your work. So I'm excited for you.
Thank you. Thanks for all the love, support, and everything.
Absolutely. You have a wonderful day. Thanks again.
Okay, you too.